Hello, everyone. How are you doing? I'm still here in India. I'm Sign1News anchor Jadeep Gore. Here's a quick look at the top trending stories making headlines today. If you post an interesting comment about this update, we may add it at the bottom of the screen. Police in Oklahoma have released new details on the gruesome and mysterious murders of four men who were shot, dismembered, and dumped in a river. Authorities say the victims are Alex Stevens, Mike Sparks, and brothers Billy and Mark Chastain. On a Sunday night more than a week ago, the four men headed out from a home in Okmulgee, Oklahoma, on a bike ride. 5 days later, police say parts of their bodies started popping up from a river south of Tulsa. But why these men were killed remains a mystery. Investigators say the men's cell phones were last tracked in two salvage yards on the edge of town. Investigators say they interviewed the owner of the salvage yards last Friday. The man denied knowing the four victims, but then he disappeared until Tuesday when he was arrested in Florida for driving a stolen pickup truck with Oklahoma license plates. Investigators also say they have evidence the four victims were plotting to commit some kind of crime. But police don't know what kind of crime and where the men plan to do it. Georgia's top election officials say midterm voters turned out in record numbers on the first day of early in-person voting. More than 131,000 people cast ballots on Monday. That's an 85% increase from the last midterm vote back in 2018. Georgia is at the center of several critical midterm races for the U.S. Senate, U.S. House, and statewide posts including governor and secretary of state. The state's new elections laws allows in-person early voting through Election Day on November 8th. But the state's restrictive new voting law makes it harder to vote through the mail. Civil rights groups are paying close attention to this first general election under the revised guidelines. The family of the late George Floyd has sent a cease-and-desist letter to rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. During a recent episode of the podcast Drink Champs, the rapper implied that Floyd's death was due to fentanyl being in his system, adding, quote, "The guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that." The guy he referenced is former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin. And according to the testimony of the medical examiner who performed the autopsy, Floyd's death was the result of, quote, law enforcement restraint and neck compression. In the letter to West, lawyers for Floyd's family said, quote, our clients are very distressed and hurt by the allegations you made. The cease and desist letter demands that Ye remove the interview and refrain from making similar statements regarding George Floyd. So far, no word yet from the rapper regarding the letter. But as of Tuesday, the Drink Champs interview has been taken down. If you are sharing someone's Netflix account and password, beware. Netflix apparently has a plan in place to crack down on password sharing starting next year, 2023. Back in March, Netflix started testing extra member and profile transfer features in Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru. The profile transfer feature allows users to transfer their current profiles to a new paid account. For those who want to continue to share their account with family and friends, the extra member option allows users to create sub-accounts under their main account for an additional fee. No word on what that fee would be. But during the test in Costa Rica, it cost around $3. If you want to keep your heart in tip-top shape, make sure you get enough Z's. According to the American Heart Association, the more sleep a person gets, the better for heart health. The findings are based on sleep data from 2,000 participants who were middle-aged or older. Researchers say people who sleep less than 7 hours per night have an increased risk of heart disease risk issues, including type 2 diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends adults get at least 7 hours of shut-eye per day. Earlier this year, the American Heart Association added sleep duration to its heart checklist known as Life Essential 8. Hollywood trailblazer Anna May Wong will be the first Asian American on U.S. currency. Over the years, she rose to fame and became the first Asian American film star in Hollywood. Wong got her first movie role when she was only 14 years old. Her first leading role was in The Toll of the Sea in 1922 when she was 17. Wong died in 1961. The Wong Quarter will be the fifth coin released this year as part of the American Women Quarters program. The program will release 5 new coins each year from 2022 through 2025. The U.S. Mint is expected to create more than 300 million Wong quarters. If you love fast food and you have a sweet tooth, you're going to love this story. McDonald's announced it will start selling Krispy Kreme donuts at 9 locations across the Louisville, Kentucky area. It is part of a small test for both companies. The select restaurants will carry 3 of Krispy Kreme's most popular pastries, including its original glazed donut. The sweet treats will be delivered fresh every day to the locations, and customers will be able to buy them all day while supplies last. The new menu additions will only be available for a limited time. So if you live in the Louisville, Kentucky area, Krispy Kreme says customers can expect to see the donut debut at Mickey D's starting next Wednesday, October 26th. To see the donut debut, Sign1News will be broadcasting updates Monday through Friday. A big thank you to our Sign1News app supporters. You help make this broadcast happen. You can download the Sign1News app by heading to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone. You can also watch on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku.